In every man's life, there comes a choice between two paths. One, a path full of darkness and treachery. The other, a path that is bright and playful. But what the man doesn't realize is that he must either suffer through the pain and treachery while on the path to success, or suffer through the pain and darkness at the end of the path to failure. About a year ago, I was in the car with my older brother. Now, my older brother, at this point, he was learning how to drive. He had kind of just gotten his license, and he was talking to me. And while he was talking to me, he was trying to back out of our driveway. And when he was doing that, he kept turning the wheel the wrong direction every time he was trying to back out. And my dad, who was in the front seat, goes, "Stop, stop. You are not focusing right now. You need to focus because you don't have that ability yet where you can focus, where you don't have to focus on what you're doing. Already ingrained in your subconscious. You need to focus on what you are doing. Otherwise, you're going to kill us all." And he goes on this rant about the 4 stages of learning. And I'm here to tell you guys about the 4 stages of learning. So let's do it. So we're going to start with the first stage of learning. And now this learning applies to everything in your life. It applies to when you were learning how to walk, to when you were learning how to eat, to when you were learning how to talk. It even applies to when you're going to learn how to drive a car if you're young enough, or if you're not, when you're going to learn how to study in college or something like that. The first point is incompetence. So what that means is it's exactly what it says. Unconscious incompetence. That means that you don't even have any idea how bad you are. You are so bad, you don't even realize it. And that's what happens when you walk. When you're starting to learn how to walk, you have no idea how bad you are at it. And it's the same thing at the gym. Like the first couple of weeks you're in the gym, you have no idea how bad your form is, how bad, you look in the gym and how ugly you look, honestly. Let's be honest. You have no idea how bad you look. And you're over there in the mirror flexing. "Ugh, I look so good." When in reality you don't at all. But enough being like, you have no idea how bad you look. And that's okay. That's where every guy starts. And if you're watching this video and you just heard me say this step will become a lot shorter for you because you will realize, dang, I'm not so good at this yet. And that's really good because that's the start of learning. Because what really learning starts is step 2, which is conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence means that you realize that you are bad. And you realize that you really suck at it. You know, that's when you're in the gym and you see the really strong guy come up and he starts, like throwing the weight up when he's benching with your max bench press. And you're like, dang, I'm weak. I get to the point where, you want to get stronger. That's when you're on the right path. And that's when you start to reach the 3rd stage, which happens probably a little more slowly. In each of the 4 steps, each step takes a little more time. So unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence takes a very short amount of time because it's just realizing that you're not too good. But then conscious incompetence to the 3rd step, which is conscious competence, it's a little longer. And conscious competence means that you know what you're doing and you are good at it now, but you are only good at it when you focus extremely hard. This is where many of us are in self-improvement stage, where we we're around 2 or 3. We are good at what we're doing. We're good at, meditating and journaling. We're good with our habits. We're good with our diet. But if we lose focus, we immediately return to that incompetence area. And that's where most of us are. Most of us are in that area where we're good, but we really need to focus to be good. And that's good. That means we're learning how to be good, which is really going to help us. Maybe some of you are a little lower. Maybe you guys aren't very good yet and you're still working on building the habits. That's fine. As long as you're on this path of like 2 to 4, you're in the learning stages. You're very good. And then after a long time, I mean a long time, with steps, finally reach the fourth stage of learning, unconscious competence. And this means that you don't even have to think about what you're doing. You already know exactly what to do. It's at that point where you can wake up, your brain's completely AFK. You go to the bathroom, you fix your hair, you go downstairs, you make your food. Your brain's still AFK. You come up here, you meditate for bang, half an hour, done. You go downstairs, you do a little workout before you go to school. You don't even have to think about it. Your habits are so ingrained into your mind that you don't even have to think about what you're doing. You just do it. And that's really where I think, that's where all the YouTubers that talk about self-improvement are, the Kenny Bender, Brandon Carter, Hamza. They're all unconscious competence. They know exactly what they're doing and they've been doing it for years. So they don't even have to focus on it. Like, yes, you will still make mistakes when you have unconscious competence, but almost everything you don't have to think about. So where do you fall? You're probably in the 2 or 3 range. You're probably still trying to build the habits. And maybe, yes, you can do them well. You have good habits, you have a good diet, you have a good workout routine, and you can do those things well. But you really need to focus to do them. So we really need to focus to do them. This whole video is to remind you that if you don't feel good about what you're doing, and you feel like you really suck at what you're doing, that you're on the correct path. Because that means you're in stage 2, conscious incompetence. And that is where you'll start. That's where everybody started. They realized that, oh my God, I suck. I need to get better. And that's really good. That means you're going to improve and that means you're on the right path. So honestly, if you feel like you suck, you feel like whatever you're doing isn't working, I'm very proud of you because that means you've taken the first steps. And the hardest steps, honestly, trying to get into it while realizing you're not good at it is really hard, especially when you get older. Because what I found when you get older is that you stay to what you're good at. I was trying to learn how to do a backflip and I did, and I almost got there. I was doing it kind of over the shoulder where I could land on my stomach. And eventually I was just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Because when you get older, you tend to stick to what you're good at and you don't learn new things like you did when you were a little kid. And so when you're trying something new and you feel like you really suck at it, then you're just taking the first steps. So I'm job. But then if you're in the focusing phase where you have to try really hard to get something good, again, I'm very proud of you because that means you're taking the first steps towards unconscious competence, where you don't even have to think. And yes, it may be hard right now, but that's how it's going to be. Building new habits is hard. Breaking old habits is hard. But when you're in that stage where you can do it, you just have to focus on it. That means you're almost there. You're so close to getting that new habit formed. And I'm very proud of you for that. So remember these 4 stages of learning and use them whenever you want to try something new, because remembering these 4 will help you. It will boost your confidence. It will honestly make the learning stages faster because you know what to experience and it will push you to your limit. So I hope this video helped. See you guys next time. Love you. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel it.